Hey, welcome back, Mr. Smith Garage. We're here in the garage working on Jack. I've gotten some parts we're going to just kind of unbox and go through. Again, we're working on the engine here. So this is a 2.0 air-cooled engine. Got some different things going on. Figured I'd go through this, and I did get a cap for the distributor. Okay, so we got that cap. I do have a belt. So this is my box that I got from Vanagon, Ken, back in New Jersey. And so I did get a new timing scale, which, I don't know, I've got one on here, but I just want to say I thought it was going to be aluminum because I've seen the aluminum ones. They're a little bit easier to read. Anyway, I also got, looks like I got a little felt washer for the clutch. This is a little tube for airflow. Goes from up to the deceleration valve. Anyway, so I got those three things in there. Oil filter. So for some reason I was thinking I was getting a man filter, but Puriflux, it's okay. We'll probably do an oil change pretty quickly after we get it finally started up. I got new spark plug wires because in the other set that I have, I want to say I didn't have, I used the distributor to coil wire. I want to say these are the brake or cylinders for the rear. Let's see how they open. Yes, that is what we were waiting for. So that's the only thing I was really waiting for to get the back brakes done. So got two of those. So we could actually probably finish up some of the rear brake stuff. Here's my EGR exhaust piece for California smog. It's ridiculous, but it is a piece that I needed, and it goes down onto the exhaust down below, connects up to this pipe. I think it connects this way, and then it comes up the back side of the engine up and over to this EGR block there. So, important piece. Rather expensive piece, but it is, you know, it's a smog piece. So again, I found one of these in my burn pile, but it does have a little bit of melty on it, and this was the last one that Ken had, and so it goes down here onto the, I think I have to put it on there before I put the alternator in there, but yeah, that goes on right there. Looks like Ken's had this for a little while. A little dusty, huh? And then I got the new disc, ATE disc rotors for the front from Auto House AZ, which I learned that is actually Empy. I didn't realize that they were owned by Empy now, but oh, and this one I didn't show you. This is the new and improved fuel injectors. So there's my injectors, which those are pretty darn small, but I've heard really good things about them. Here's some of my fuel rail parts, some additional parts to hold them down. Ooh, here's some hold down pieces. Those look really nice. And here are the fuel rails. Fancy. Very fancy. Okay, so we're gonna have to, hopefully there's a little bit of instruction in here. Injector rehab. We got a sticker, got a card, so if I run into problems on figuring out how to install, I will call Keith Gibbons at Injector Rehab. So we can almost start putting this engine together. I am waiting from Kyle Automotive. He's getting me a whole new loom for the engine. I did find, I ended up, I'll show you, we'll spin it around here. So you see on that, hanging on the bike there, I've got 3 different looms. One of them I think would be okay, but it's still, they're pretty crusty. Like, you know, that it gets hot in that engine area. So I'm thinking a new loom I won't have any wiring issues. I won't have to chase down anything. And that's really, I need to make sure that I get that down underneath kind of the air box before I connect my intake manifold and then the fuel injectors. And so there's some stuff that needs to be done there just to make sure that we've got it all set and ready to go. Got most of my suspension parts for the front end, but as you can see over here, this is all my front end stuff. So this is what I'm going with for front end. I am going to clean them all up and paint, make them look nice before I start putting all the new bushings on and getting them set up. I did notice, and I don't know if this is a normal thing or not, but on these upper control arms, these bushings are actually welded on there. So I'm going to have to cut those off to get the new bushes in. So we'll do those. We'll kind of just use our little grinder and get them off. And then I got to get these bushes off to put some new ones on there. So I got to figure out how to do those, which I haven't figured that out. Maybe warm them up a little bit and then pull them off. But the rest of this just needs to be cleaned up, ready to go. And then especially under the vehicle, we need to do some cleaning. So we'll get our wire brush under there. It'll be quite a mess, get a little bit dirty. And then all these are just kind of some extra parts that I won't be using. I will use those caps, so I want to make sure I clean those caps off. And then these are my brake bolts. And then here's my brake calipers, is what we're going to call those. I don't know if you can see how dark it is there, but they're going to be okay. Once I get new brake shoes in there, even though those look pretty good, we're going to use those again, clean those up. So that's where we're at right now. That's just a quick little warm-up. What's going on? Maybe we'll do the rear brake. We could probably do the rear brakes in the same video. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and finish up the rear brakes. I didn't bore you through the whole process of figuring out how to get these things to where they needed to be. So this should go a little bit quicker. I'm going to start by working on taking this old brake hose off. We're going to replace it with the new brake hose there. That's the first step that we're going to do. Then we're going to do our other brake hose and then install our wheel cylinder. Okay, so we're down here under jack. One side is a 14, and then the little side, the hard line, is an 11. Basically, just got to get it loose. Then it should go fairly easy. Let's see if we hold this side and spin this side. There we go. Look at that. Okay, there's that one's off. And let's find our new one. It's down here somewhere. There it is. We're just going to spin that right on. Not move it around too much so it doesn't get dirty. Okay, let's find that wrench again. Are we going with the right size? No. Okay, and this one's going to go right into there. So hopefully I've got everything here that we need in order to take care of this. What we first need to do is get this little guy installed. I'm going to take the bleeder valve out because it makes it a little bit easier to install that 11 mil brake line, hard brake line in there. So new hardware here. It's going to go right underneath here. Okay, just going to hang on to it there for a minute while we go through and get our brake line bent. So I'm hoping you can see all this. Just going to go back to here and across around to the back. Got my little brake line bender. Going to get my nut on the right side of it. And do about a 45 degree angle. I'm going to look at it. Went through quite a few bends on the other side, but felt like I figured it out pretty good. Yeah. then we're going to do another bend about right here. Kind of on the same general angle of where we're at. Okay, let's make sure we didn't go too far. That'll work. And then about here, we're going to go the opposite way. Make sure we kind of stay on that same. Kind of like that. And let's see how that's looking. So that's going to go right across this spot here, because that's where we're going to have a clip to hold it in. So now we're going to go about here and bend. And we're going to go that way. But it'll work. I think that might be good. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, now the other thing that hopefully you can see is that this little clip goes on this side. So we're going to get it started there. And then again, our 14 and our 11. And we want it tight, so let's get it tight there. Good. Now, back over on this here, and take that out and bring this to here. Get it started. And we're going to tighten up this number 11. And I also want to get this 13 millimeter back in here. Let me show you that from behind. So say we got our 13 millimeter and then our brake line here, and then our bleeder is going to go on the top. I have to use just a wrench. Really tight. Then our 11 is next. Okay, I'm going to push these in. We're going to put our bleeder valve back on so we don't get any dirt in the system, but we're not going to tighten it up until we get stuff on here. So we'll just have to remember that we got it not tightened. So I am using the Bentley, and it does have a step-by-step installing brake shoes sequence. And the first time I went through it, I didn't necessarily go through the right steps. So if you follow these step-by-step, which I'm going to do, then it should be a little bit easier than the last time I went through it. So first step is get your heavy-duty, well, we're going to get all the hardware out of there. We're going to put our heavy-duty spring. Actually, we're going to put these two little stud things through just to get them in there. heavy duty spring installed. And the way I did this that made it the easiest is I stuck it there with the spring on the retainer here. See that? And then I pulled it out and stuck it in there. That was the easiest way to get that spring. I kept on trying to put it in there and then pull the spring one way or the other. It never worked, but this way worked. So that's the way I'm teaching you. Again, same thing on this. We're going to put the spring on the hook first, get it in the slot, and then we're using the leverage of the brake shoe to get it into the slot here. And that was the easiest way to do it. Okay, so let's see. What did it say was next? I think it said the next thing to do is put on the adjusting lever. And it did say to grease it. So what I did was put some dielectric grease in there because it's technically supposed to be waterproof. You don't want to put so much in there that it's going to cause any problems with your brake shoes. Let's see if this is enough. When I pushed it in, I just wanted to make sure it's a little bit greasy in there. Maybe a little bit more. Let's see. Because if you put the right amount in, it actually squishes it back out up the threads. That's what I want right there. So we got it all the way in the threads. Okay, so let me think, was this the next step? Yes, I think this was the next step. It said to make sure that this moves freely, which it is. And then we want that to sit in the right spot. Just like so. Good. And now we can hook up the e-brake to there. And I think now is when it tells you to put these pieces on. And let me tell you, having new springs on these makes it difficult. So I put my pliers to the wider angle there. I just grabbed it with the very end. And then you just got to make sure you have it going the right way. And you got to make sure you have enough strength to do what you need to do. Let me move your camera this way because I got to use my other arm on this one. Got a little bit more strength in this arm than the other. So you're holding the pin from the back. And then you just got to twist it just enough to be able to grab it and twist it so it seats. Okay, there we go. Seated. Then we're going to grab the other one, do the same thing. And you might not be able to see that one, so let's get you right behind me there. Now, hopefully I'm making this look easy. This is now the second one I've done. Okay, so now they want you to put, let's see, this spring. Is that the next spring? The back spring? I think this is the next spring. Let's get this one pulled through here. There we go. Maybe we do the short one first. Well, let's see. So that spring's in there, going the right way. And now we want to put this spring in, and this is the retaining spring for the adjuster. So see, when you go to adjust it, it keeps that in spot. Oh my goodness, I think we got it all. Kind of want to just check to make sure you're in the right position. I don't know where these go. I think this must be for a different emergency brake, because this brake has all that stuff on it. Now we can put our hub back on. Got everything in there, yeah. Boy, this did go quickly. And you can put all this stuff on because the drum just goes right over the top of it. Oh, that looks like some brake fluid dropped on my fresh paint. There's these two holes. Since we're going with stock rims, we're going to put the holes where they should be. Oops. Nope, we didn't do it right. Holes go this way. Okay, we got a little too high on there. There we go. And voila. And we're just going to adjust it up and put our clip in and our clip for our emergency brake. And that's it. It was as easy as that. I just need to get a couple of hex bolts to stick in here and we'll be done. Let's see. Did I forget anything? Other than those two little pieces. If you know what these two little pieces are for, why don't you let me know in the comments, because I didn't use them and I didn't see a need to use them. So I don't know. They might be for something. And then I have this extra emergency brake cable that's good. So if I need it, I'll use that. But for right now, it sounds like I can go with what I've got. And everything is all set. So I just need to torque these up once I get the wheels on. Thanks for watching Mr. Smith Garage. Like and subscribe. I hope you're enjoying the rebuild of Jack, the 81 Volkswagen Vanagon Westfalia. Because I'm having a good time doing it, so hopefully you are as well. And if you have any questions as we go along with this process, let me know and I will see if I can add it into my videos. Oh, look at that. I got all kinds of brake fluid that has just taken that paint right off. So remember, if you got brake fluid leaking, remember it's corrosive and it will eat away paint.